Let's go live. We are now live. There used to be a dark circle of death. Oh, they're rolling in. Hello, everyone. Super excited to have everyone back. Different setup than we're normally used to. You guys will find there's the chat box that is going to be your place to chat with all of us. Make sure your settings are to all panelists. This way you guys can see what everyone is saying. Yay for Zoom, I know. Welcome, guys. Zoom is here. We're off of Webinar Jam. Very, very excited to be giving you guys a better experience today. So let us know where you're coming from. I've already seen Texas, Los Angeles, Panama, Jersey. Hello, Ontario. Welcome. Super excited to have everyone joining us. This is a really special webinar for us today, folks. Hello, Six Nations. Welcome back. I keep seeing you guys when you're on the webinars. We had snow, finally. Victoria, BC, hello. Calgary. I'm very excited to have a bit of snow. It's freezing here. Welcome to Canada. That's just what happens. So hope everyone's doing well. Let us know what's happening down your way. I've seen a lot of Alberta, VA. Super, super excited to have Janielle and Derek joining us today. I get the pleasure to work with these lovely people. You guys finally get to see some other faces. It's Alexandra, it's -21, I hear you. I'm excited for you guys to meet some of the other folks who work and live and breathe here in HiMama. There's more than two of us, or three of us, but. Hello, First Nation from Curve Lake, Kentucky. Welcome, everybody. We're gonna get started shortly. I wanna give you guys a chance to just roll in, settle on in, and don't forget your water, your pens, your papers. We are recording as normal. Bit of a different rollout for show notes tomorrow. You'll see it all come out, but we'll cover that after, don't worry. So who else we got coming in North Carolina? All of our folks here from Toronto, Sacramento. Is it warm out there? I'd love to know. Let us know as well if you are using HiMama or not. If you're a customer with us, if you're part of the fam. If you're not, that's okay. You're going to learn a little bit today. So that's why I'm glad you're here. Kaya's posted some links. Check us out, HiMama.com. Morgan, you guys use HiMama, welcome. I know many of you do and many of you don't. So this is why I was really excited to show you guys a little bit more, some of the features that we do have. Jessica, you'd like to start? Check us out. We can get you going on it. That's for sure. I would love to. You can join the HiMama family. Couple of key things before we dive in a minute or two is so you guys will have an option to obviously be in the chat as you are. But there's also a Q&A box. So any questions for today, please pop them in there. It's just a nice little, hello, Amanda. It's a nice little spot for you to be able to filter out some of the questions. Everyone can see their questions, just gives us a little bit more clarity as well. So please don't be shy to use that box because it will give us just a nice set of questions all in one place. And in this way, you guys can keep the conversation going in the chat box. So. Please settle in. Super, super excited. Tara, you guys got some snow, but it's sunny out your way. That's good. Same here. It's snowy. It's the typical, it's cold here. It's snowy, but it's clear and sunny. So we do have options for home daycares. If you are interested, we have a specific rep here on the team who I've had the pleasure of working with very closely actually for a good amount of time. Her name is Michelle. If you want to get set up and chat with Michelle, she actually can run down everything for you. So I'm super excited. If you want to check out more, Kaya's posting links, folks. She's in there. She's posting all the links for you guys to take away here. And of course, we'll make sure every link is in the show notes for you. So, all right, one more minute here, folks, as we just let everyone roll in and get a little settled in, then we will, hello, Cassandra, I see you. We'll get rolling. Very excited to have everyone here. This is very different for me, guys. I have the chat. I have to there's different things going on. I have to learn new tech. It's all good. It's all good. Hello. All right. So, are we all ready? Let's get rocking and rolling. We're very excited to be talking a little bit more about HiMama, talking about some of the great features that were added to in 2020 and a couple of little sneak peeks into 2021. So I am very excited to get this rocking and rolling. But before we do, Kaya, you wanna come on and tell us about Facebook?
Hello, everyone. So excited to be on Zoom today. Loving all the chat. I'm loving that it's actually working today. Before we jump into things, I do want to announce something super, super exciting. We have Circle Time coming. So this is a place for early educators such as yourselves to connect, to share resources. Maybe that's classroom ideas, activities, and just really get support from other early childhood professionals like yourself. We're launching it on Monday, February 1st. So pop in your email. Ria, do you mind popping in that link into the chat real quick? Ria is going to be putting a link to a form. All you have to do, I think it's 3 questions, your name and your email. We're going to send that off to you on Monday morning as soon as we launch it. So pop in your email address. It's that wow.himama.com. Oh, that's the wrong one, actually.
Oh,
Should be the type form.
So sorry.
We got links flying everywhere,
I
everyone.
got excited. That's exactly it. I just got excited, folks. That's all. My bad. Here we go. It's the type form one there. The second one there. I will repost it again. Sign up for our Facebook group.
Cool. Thanks, Ria. Yeah. So if you want to join our Facebook group, that is the link for it right there on Typeform. Hope to see you there. That's it for me.
Thanks, Kaya. As always, folks, Kaya's in the chat. Like I said, you guys are going to have 2 options here with us using Zoom. You have the chat box, you have the Q&A. Please pop questions in the Q&A box so that this way Kaya gets them a little bit more filtered out for you guys and she doesn't miss out on anything and she gets them over to me and gets them in for our guests here today. So please, please, please use that box specifically too. As well, keep the conversation going on the actual chat. So everyone's rolling in, I see here. Let's get rocking and rolling into today. So, oh, sorry, I skipped one. Let's go back here. Not a worries. As always, we always make sure to let you know that we are sadly not your financial support. We're not your legal support. I did not go to law school, folks. Hello, Bahamas. And by all means, if you're looking for any help in any area, make sure that you're getting it from the right people, whether they be your financial advisor, a legal advisor, your licensed rep, whoever it may be. Make sure you guys are looking for the right people. So today, a little different. Of course, it is a recorded session. We're going to get everything out to you. You will be able to get the certificate at the end. We are going to provide the link, but the certificate email will not go out until tomorrow, folks. It will come out as well with the show notes, the slides and everything. And if you are having technical difficulties, Zoom has very much got a whole team supported, part of them to support you. So please go to support.zoom.us. They are the best place to go to when it comes to all of this. I'm still learning, Kaya's still learning, the whole team is still learning a little bit more about how to use it. So please as well be patient, but I do hope that we're giving you guys a better platform for viewing experience and that it's a little bit better for you all around. I know that's been one of the key things we've been promising and we are here for that to happen. So next up, folks, if you've never met me before and you are new to our webinars, first of all, welcome. If you're with us and you've been with us for several months now or reoccurring, I'm Ria. So I'm one of the community ambassadors here at HiMama. I'm an early childhood educator and I've been with the team for just about 3 years now. And Kaya's on chat, but Kaya's also she's our social media expert. She's also an educator and she's here to make sure you guys are doing everything, getting everything you need. So, and today I'm very excited. We have HiMama's own Janielle and Derek. Both of these lovely people, they're fabulous. I'm going to let them take it on from here on out. But we're going to be going through just kind of a little bit more about what our product team does, kind of how we get to where we're getting as a team when it comes to giving you guys the HiMama app itself. That is fantastic. So we're going to jump through the top 10 features that we got from 2020. Of course, 2020 was wild for everybody, but as well, we're going to give you guys a sneak peek into 2021 and leave it open for any questions at the end. So please, like I said, pop your great questions into Q&A there. And I'm going to invite Janielle and Derek on here to take it away and to have some fun with you lovely folks and enjoy. Here she is, Janielle. I'm going to let you, if you want to start with a small intro of yourself, and I'm going to let you and Derek take it from here.
Sure. Thanks, Ria. Thanks, Kaya. You guys have been amazing. I'm so glad to join you all. Oh my goodness, 477 participants. That's amazing. My name is Janielle Loken. I am a product manager mainly for the billing platform here at HiMama. I started in HiMama in 2019. So this is coming up to my 2-year, and what a wild ride it's been. A small fact about me, something a little bit fun, is that when I was growing up, I actually used to go to New York for my summers and spend it with my godmother, who was an admin. She was an accountant for the New York City School District School Board, and then went on to do the same accounting features for private childcare centers. So especially one in Queens Village, Jamaica. If anybody's here from Jamaica, New York, raise your hands. So glad to be repping you. So when I started at HiMama, and of course she's long retired, she doesn't know anything about software from this side, and she's Southern. So I said, I'm working for childcare. I'm helping them have better administrative processes. And she said, oh, you're following in my footsteps. So I'm so glad to be with all of you today. And if anybody's here from Georgia, shout outs to Georgia as well. Derek, on to you.
Hi everyone, Derek here. I may have actually spoken with some of you throughout 2020. So hi everyone. So a bit about me. I joined HiMama at more or less at the same time as Janielle, just about 2 years ago. It's been a really fun ride, and a lot's changed since then. I would say I'm super excited about solving customer problems. So, even if I can, help make your life a little bit easier each and every day, that's a win for me, and that, really excites me. So I'm happy to share with you all the work we did in 2020, and hopefully you've all benefited from that. Great. So let's look back. We're actually going to start, first of all, for those of you who may not be as familiar with what a product manager is, we're actually going to start with a little bit of an explanation as to what it is we actually do, and then we're going to go into the 2020 features. So, Janielle.
Yes. So a software product manager, we're actually probably one of the most, closely related cross-functional people in the company. So we get a chance to work with everyone, every department, depending on the type of project we're working on. So if I'm going to be improving a product or a feature or upgrading something, that could affect, your customer support. It could affect the finance team. It could affect the marketing team. So we get a chance to be moved around and talk to almost everybody in the company, which is really amazing. However, my direct team, the people that I work with every day, usually consists of software developers, digital designers, and sometimes if we're doing a type of product or project that's really data heavy, it could include a data scientist. But ultimately, we're accountable for understanding your needs and understanding all the things that we need to do to make your life better and create what we call a roadmap. So we kind of piece together in a sequential order what we could do next to make your life better. And that information is funded by your feedback, your support tickets, conversations that you have directly with us, data, anything that you're using or you're not using. And we try to dig a little deeper into understanding why. And of course, we also pay very close attention to things that are affecting you, like, federal laws or different changes inside of, the ecosystem of ECE. So essentially, product managers tend to have a very diverse background. I come from a marketing and customer success background, and Derek has had a very long career in in digital product marketing management. So again, we both have, you know, a little bit of diversity in our backgrounds, but from an educational standpoint, and it's actually better if we have a diversity in, you know, our in that standpoint, so that we can do better things for you. So hopefully that gives you a small idea of what we do, but we're busy talking to you all the time.
Yeah, thanks, Janelle. So continuing on that thread, before we get into the 2020 features, we wanted to provide a little bit of a look behind the scenes. So obviously, you know, you've probably seen some new updates to the app in 2020, assuming you're a customer. So you may be wondering, like, what exactly is going on behind the scenes. You know, Janielle and I are sitting here today, but obviously there's a lot going on that you're not seeing. So as Janielle mentioned, customer feedback is essential to everything that we do. It's not just about business decisions or, you know, making money or being competitive. It's really about solving problems for you. And that's really at the center of everything that we do. So your feedback is absolutely essential, and we're absolutely listening to it along the way. Maybe sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but trust me, there's a lot of information out there and we are looking at all of it. As Janelle mentioned, a lot of our process is heavily informed by research and data. So it's not really a perspective or personal driven process. It really is about like the big picture backed up by data. We are not an opinion driven organization. It really is about like what makes sense. How can we solve the most problems for the most people? So in software development, most companies follow a similar process to HiMama. It's commonly referred to as the build, sort of measure, learn process, as you see the flywheel here on the right. And what that effectively means is that we're constantly improving and constantly sort of reiterating and questioning ourselves. So it's not a matter of like, you know, we build something, then it's done and we're never going to touch it again. The way we think about things is often in steps or a process. So we'll release something, see how it goes, learn, measure it, and then improve upon it. So just because something is the way it is today doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. We actually think of everything really critically and are constantly looking to make improvements. And as I alluded to, we have a lot of customers. It's sometimes hard to know, but HiMama actually has thousands of customers, including some of the largest childcare programs in North America. So although we value everyone's opinion, it's also really important that what we're building makes sense for as many customers as possible and not just you. And obviously that's challenging because we have customers all around the world, including many different geographies in the United States that, as we all know, have very different licensing requirements. So it's a very tricky space to navigate, but we do the best we can at, you know, making everyone happy and doing what we need to do to support licensing. And as Janielle mentioned, and as you'll see with our 2020 releases, we have to always find the right balance between improving what we already have, but also adding something new. And it's essential to do both. Otherwise, we'll just sort of wither away, which not what we want to do. So without further ado, we're going to get into the 2020 roadmap. So some of you are customers, some of you are not. So feel free to ask questions in the chat box or the Q&A box as we go along. Some of these may be familiar to you already if you're a customer, or maybe not. If you're new to HiMama, this is a great opportunity to see what we've been doing. So first things first, messages grouped by child. So this is a small but mighty feature that we released earlier in 2020. So the majority of users are messaging families multiple times throughout the day. If you're using the feature heavily, sometimes it's hard to actually find old messages. So we created an easy option for you to view messages filtered by child. So you would visit the child profile page, click view messages, and that will just show a filtered view of all messages pertaining to that child. That'll also include sent messages. So you can do a bit of an audit to see what messages were sent from your center location to that family member. And this is like a really easy way to sort of find old messages. Great, scheduled messages on the same theme. This is a big upgrade that we released sort of middle of last year. This was partially due to COVID. So we knew that because face-to-face communication was suffering due to the pandemic, that electronic communication became more important than ever before. We also knew that oftentimes center admins and staff were having to send emails in the early morning, on the weekend, et cetera, just to make sure that those emails were getting delivered at the preferred time. Not a great system. We don't want people working more than they need to. So what we did was we came up with this feature so that you could draft a message at a time that's convenient for you. and then schedule to be sent in the future. So let's say you want a message to go out first thing in the morning at 5 a.m. and you're not awake to hit the send button. Well, this is a great feature for you. Or conversely, if you want to send an email on the weekend, like a Sunday, let's say the following week's schedule, this would allow you to do all that work up front so that you can just sort of set it and forget it and get on with your day. This is another sort of tweak we made. This feature does depend on the staff management module, so not everyone may have access to it, but this is a really exciting feature that I encourage you to look into if you don't have access to it today. So HiMama is a great system for recording children and staff. So once you have your staff and put it in HiMama, you can actually set your preferred classroom ratios. And so what happens is we will automatically notify you when a given room is out of ratio. So we automatically calculate in real time the number of staff in a room and the number of children in a room. So that when you're out of ratio, usually it's because you're understaffed, the app will automatically notify teachers on the classroom dashboard page, and it will notify directors on the center dashboard page. So this is just an easy way for people to course correct rather than relying on admin to come, running into the classroom. So that's a really great way to be proactive in problem solving for ratio problems. And name to face checks, also known as spot checks or roll calls, depending on where you are in the world. This is a really powerful new entry type, primarily used by teachers, but definitely appreciated by center admins as well. So it's really just an easy way to digitally perform a roll call. So whereby you do a face check of all the kids in the room, you mark them all as being seen, and you hit save, and that'll record and timestamp you having performed a name to face check. And we know that's really quite important for certain states that require this for licensing. Sometimes it's performed every 30 minutes or every time there's a room transition, for example, would be a good opportunity to use that. Temperature checks. So this is a big one. This feature was directly a result of COVID. We knew that temperature checks were commonly being performed in the morning and sometimes throughout the day. So we created a new entry type to make that super easy for teachers and directors. It's a simple and fast way to record temperature and the general health of a child. You can record the exact temperature, or you can just sort of flag it as normal and move on. You also have the option of bulk updating and saying, hey, everyone in the classroom has been temp checked and they're all normal. So you can do that all in one go, really fast and easy. And obviously the benefit of this is that it reduces the risk of COVID-19 spreading or other ailments in your center. So it'll be interesting to see if this is something that sticks around after COVID's been wrapped up. We've actually heard some really positive feedback that having this feature has actually improved the overall health of their center just by tracking that. So that's really exciting and encouraging news. And of course, it also includes a dedicated temperature check report, which we know is important for some licensing requirements. So everything's accessible and digitized, reliable and in one spot. So super easy. Yeah, this is another really exciting one as a result of COVID-19. So we realized that a lot of centers were closed due to the pandemic, and that would be a really great opportunity to continue at-home learning. So HiMama actually put together a free resource that's accessible on HiMama.com, but also accessible in the app. And the HiMama.com website is actually free to use. So I'd encourage everyone to have a look at that today. The URL is just on this slide. And will be shared afterwards. So we created a free activity database. You can filter by age groups, by domain, by types of activity, all free, and we're continuing to update it. We also added a new feature inside of the application that makes it really easy for center admins to send a daily activity to parents every single day. And HiMama actually automatically updates that activity. And then all the director would have to do is hit the send button each day, and parents could carry out those activities at home. Another thing that we're seeing with this resource is that teachers can easily just copy paste activities into HiMama, into the lesson planner, and then simply just select the domains and skills because everything's already done for you. So it's really fast. It's a really fast way for you to build up a new lesson plan and get some new ideas free of charge. So really, really great resource and a great example of how we've sort of stepped up to help everyone throughout the pandemic. Great, so I think from here, we're going with Janielle. Take it away, Janielle, you have control now.
Great, I'm back. All right, so I know previous, have I muted? Okay. Everyone can hear me? Great, thank you. So I know previously I did say that I am primarily responsible for the billing product, but I got the chance to jump into the COVID scene and do as much as possible for centers who were having a hard time with parents no longer being able to come into the center to sign in and out their children. So what we've done is create a contactless check-in with drop-off notes. And this essentially the way that we created it was to ensure that parents could still give teachers all the information they needed in the mornings before leaving, because we know that that time is really important, especially for infant classrooms and toddlers. You know, a rough start to the day could mean a horrible first half of the day. So we wanted to allow parents to give that information while still giving as much time as possible during the drop off, because we know there's so many other things to do, like temperature checks and such. So essentially a parent can check in their child and give all the notes. If there's a signature that's requested, you actually have control. All center directors can turn on a request for signature, and the parent will be required to sign for their child to be dropped off before they can actually do the drop off, which was a great feature that we added for our centers. Now, something that is on the other end, the pickup. This is a feature that was just launched yesterday. We are so excited about it. It's called Safe Pickup. Now, the way that this Safe Pickup differs is that a parent cannot complete a checkout of a child. It is simply sending an alert to your teacher's classroom on their tablet or whatever device that they have, letting them know that a parent is there to pick up a child. And this is a great way for teachers to be able to wind down a child, you know, start to draw them out of the activity that they're doing and gather all of their things. And we've heard from some centers that there are different processes. You know, some people have runners now. Some people use all of their directors to actually take children from each classroom to the front door. So this is a way for us to help give you as many tools as possible to be as efficient as possible and not require so much volunteer help, which we know is not as easily accessible depending on the state or the province that you're in. Again, this collects signatures or initials if it's required, and it stores them all in your reporting. So it stores the signatures in individual child's reporting for now, but it does record how a child was checked out. It also records how a child was picked up, what's the name of the parent that was logged into their app when doing the pickup. So it gives you as much information as possible, especially if you need to go back in history and understand, you know, what happened for a particular day for an incident, for example. So we're hoping that this gives you as much power as possible to have as much communication as possible with your parents.
Janielle, I just wanted to bump in for a sec before you go on to Antoinette's fabulous quote. A lot of questions around where is it located in the app? And even for myself, like I'm still learning where it is in the app. So
super. So what you'll do is you'll go to your logins and configurations. You have complete control over this. You go to logins and configurations, and then there's an area called center settings. Once you go to center settings, it's a huge chunk of questions. So you can set whether or not you want parent initials or signatures or nothing. Then there is contactless check-in with drop-off notes. You would check that. And then there's another box that says safe pickup. So you don't have to have both on. Maybe you just want the alerts at the end of the day. You can choose one or the other, or both. It's up to you.
Awesome, thank you. I'll let you continue now.
Sure. And this is Antoinette, one of our amazing success managers. And she let us know that there's so many customers that have already tried out the contactless check-in. And it's really helped with parents no longer being able to come into the building. I'll actually let you in on a secret. I did an interview with a center who will remain nameless. We're going to protect the teacher. And she said it's actually better sometimes because, sometimes children don't want to let go of mom. And if they do it at the door, they can have an easier way to get into the activities that they have planned for them. So I don't know. It's up to you. You let us know. Are your children having an easier time with it at the door? Or, are they still wishing that, the parents could come all the way to them, all the way to the classroom with them? Let us know. We'd love to know. Great. So again, I hope that those help you, and please give us as much feedback as possible because it helps us improve the product. Okay, back to billing, which is something that I'll be doing a lot more of this year. One of the things that we did last year was a huge update on our parent and payment director forms. We got a lot of feedback that, there were some things that, parents didn't quite understand when they were filling it out, especially on the banking side. And what we did was a full overhaul to give it more validation, make it easier for parents to sign up. We put a lot more in-app help icons and indicators. There's a brand new page. So this is only obviously for centers that have HiMama billing. Again, contact support if you want to test it out or want more information on whether or not it will work for you. But the new overhaul makes it much easier for parents to understand, what card or, if they have auto pay on, what they actually have inside of the HiMama billing, and it's easier to manage, which it's very important because it is funds, right? And another thing that we did was more so for the center side, for the administrators, we added 2 new reports. One was called the transactions report, and another is called the accrued invoice report. Both of those reports are inside of the billing reports area. And what they do is essentially provide you with an itemized detail of all the things that happened within the time period that you select. So as you can see, we've given actually a really detailed description of what each report does, and it's accessible inside of your billing module. If you would like that turned on, you do have to contact support, and they'll let you know the process to turn on the billing module. And essentially, this payment transaction report, whether or not you use our payments product, as long as you're marking things paid, creating invoices, we essentially give you an itemized view of everything that happened from a transactional perspective, and then also from the accrued invoices perspective. So every invoice, and you'll see the state that they're in at that moment. If there is an overdue balance, it will show you that as well. Gives you everything in one place. So hopefully these give a lot more assistance when you're dealing with the administrative side. And for those of you who use accountants or a third-party software to manage that, you can again export and send all of this over to that accountant, that bookkeeper, the people who want to deal with that. But again, give us as much information. When you put it in, it gives as much information coming out. And so hopefully we can assist you on that end. And there's a couple small but mighty updates that we did in 2020, much smaller. So that wraps up our full 10. But Derek, if you want to come on and just talk a little bit about these small additions.
Yeah, so we chose to highlight 10 of the biggest features of 2020, but obviously there's been a lot of smaller enhancements along the way. And these are some of them that are, we think are noteworthy. So this isn't exhaustive, but these are some of the other ones worth pointing out. So we've added the ability to add attendance records to past dates. So what that means is, say, for example, you forgot to check in a kid, last week, and for whatever reason, you need to make sure those reports are accurate for licensing reasons. You can now go back to that date and add an attendance record. So course correction effectively for record keeping purposes. We also added a new active enrollment report. We knew that this was a really common request to just have a simple and fast list of your current enrollment. So we've added that as well. Importantly, we also added an address field to the child profile. And commonly this is used as the child's primary address. And last but not least on this list, we also provided a new setting, which is the option to hide the child's last name from the parent sign-in page. And so this is the page, usually this happens when there's a shared tablet device at the front door and all parents are sort of checking their own children into HiMama in the morning. Some centers wanted to sort of obfuscate or hide the child's last name for privacy reasons. So now that's an optional setting that will hide the child's last name and just show initials. Great. So we've covered like a lot of information for 2020, but we're not done yet. We're obviously in 2021, and we've actually been working on some really big and juicy features for you. We don't normally share sneak peeks, so this is really the first time we've ever done this, so it's really exciting for us. And I hope you guys are also excited to see what we have coming up. So let me take over. Great. Great. So we're going to cover 3 new features that are coming soon. So I've been working on this one for quite a long time now. I may have even spoken to some of you back in the day about this one. So this is called the Photos and Videos feed page. This is a brand new page in our app that's available to administrators only. And the purpose of this page is to provide a single overview of all the photos and videos being taken and uploaded across your center on one spot. So for example, if you have a lot of classrooms, currently it's a little bit challenging reviewing everything that's going on just because there's a lot happening. Teachers can continue to access the photo journal page, which is grouped per room, but this is a way for you to not only group per room, but actually see everything. And you will also have the option on this page to filter by individual classrooms and sort by newest to oldest photos. So you can review everything that's going on from morning to afternoon. In addition to this beautiful new page, there's actually some sort of improved and additional functionality that wasn't previously available. So on this page, you can actually see all the tagged children in a photo or video entry, which is not something you can presently do on the photo journal page. So that's a big upgrade. It's also really easy to delete a video or photo. So oftentimes we hear in the use case primarily is like a bad quality photo, an unflattering photo, something that's a bit off brand for the center. So as an admin, if I wanted to just sort of oversee and make sure I'm catching these things before they're shared with families, this page is a really easy way for you to now do that. So deleting a photo is easy now as like one click, whereas previously it required a few more steps. So this is a really just like easy way to see what's going on and actually course correct things. You're also able to untag and tag children. So for example, if you see that someone's tagged in a photo that shouldn't be, you are also able to sort of correct that yourself on this page. So it's really powerful, and we're really excited to see where this page can go in the future. Lots of opportunities. So I've been alluding to the fact that this is a great sort of spot for center administrators to sort of oversee or moderate what's going on in their center. As most of our customers are probably aware, HiMama really is intended to be a real-time sharing application, which means when you upload a photo or video, normally that's shared with parents in real time. They get a notification on their parent app, and they may also get an email notification. So obviously that doesn't give you a lot of time to delete or make a change to something, right? If it's being shared instantaneously. So in addition to this page, we actually also created a really powerful new setting that will help you leverage this page in really new and exciting ways. So that brings me to the next big feature that we are releasing soon, which is what we're calling, it's a little bit wordy, but the delay media sharing setting. So it is a setting that you can turn on or off at the center level. So this is available to center administrators. And as Janielle mentioned earlier, it is available on the logins and configurations page under center settings, where it will be in due course. So what this setting allows you to do, it allows you to set a delay between the time in which a photo or video is uploaded by your teachers and when it's actually delivered to families. So you can set a delay of up to 3 hours. So what that means is, let's say a parent takes a photo at 9 a.m. And you set a delay, which is optional, of up to 3 hours. That photo will be in the system for 3 hours, but will only be shared with families come 12 p.m. at lunchtime, so 3 hours later. So what that means is you now have a 3-hour window of time in which you can either delete the photo if you don't like it for whatever reason, edit the tagged children, or make other changes as required. So really, it just gives you an overview and a chance to sort of catch or make adjustments throughout the day. And this is not something that's currently sort of easily possible. So this is a massive change and a massive opportunity for center administrators who really want to be on top of everything that's going on throughout the day. And this is all going to be available soon. So very, very shortly. So keep your eyes peeled. You should see a new button on your menu bar in the next week or two. Yeah. Going to pass it over to Janielle.
Great. So along with the upgrades that were made to our safe pickup and contactless check-in, we really found it was important that we make a change to our attendance report. So this is a monthly attendance report that it's found inside of the reporting area. Now there's center reports and there's attendance summary. We're talking about the attendance detail report. This report has changed the formatting. So the formatting now will show the name of the child on the first column, the time that they came in, the time, who they were signed in by, whether that was a teacher, whether that was a parent, and the parent name comes directly from the app that they're signed into. The signature or the initial, if there is one, the notes are now right beside the actual check-in, and then we do everything for the checkout. And let's say, you have a parent that comes, in the morning, drops off their child, picks them up for a dentist appointment for tiny teeth, brings them back to the center. If you do allow that in and out, we collect all of it. So every time that child is in and out, it's all going to be in this one report. Is going to be organized by date and then by classroom. So you'll have all the children for one classroom in one chunk, and you can download that by month. One thing that we're trying to do is really facilitate the reduce on paper. It definitely is something that we understand is nature of the business. You have a lot of paper just because you need the paper trail, but we're trying to ensure that you can download this and save it as a PDF on your computer, and should you have to present it for licensing requirements, you can just email it over. And so we're hoping that this is something that's a really good addition to the reporting and a big change, and it reduces the amount of time that you have to download individual child reports to get those signatures and some of that information. That's it for the monthly reports. So we want to, I believe, invite Kaya and Ria back.
Hello, Ria, do you have control? Is Ria here? Ria might not be here. We did have one question from our audience, and thank you both so much for sharing this. Let me just find it. One was regarding the staff management feature. It was from Kimberly. Maybe you two could address that. Kimberly had a question: should incoming staff sign in first before their staff member leaving signs out to do the out of ratio moments? Does that make sense?
Oh, you mean like if there's a switch of staff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can answer that question. Yeah, it's really up to the center and what your sort of ratio requirements are. As long as you're sort of course correcting within a few seconds, like a minute, it should make a huge difference. Looking at licensing regulation, usually you have a buffer of maybe 5 to 15 minutes. It shouldn't make a huge difference either way, but we definitely encourage your staff to have to manually move rooms or check in and check out respectively, so that the ratio inside of HiMama is accurate. Obviously, our ability to calculate that ratio is entirely dependent on your staff using the software. because if we don't have any visibility into them being checked in or checked out, we wouldn't have an accurate ratio in the product.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Derek. And if you do have any questions about the features that we just chatted about in the last 40 minutes, please pop them into the Q&A and we'll go over them. We'll give everyone a couple minutes here. I think, Ria, you had a shout out, a really interesting one from earlier. Did you want to pop that in while I address the questions?
Yeah, so I'm just looking back here. We've had a couple of people, and this one specific actually for Derek and Janielle, I think you'll really love this, is from Jennifer. So she loves the temperature check. They have 2 children specifically who have seizures, and they do temperature checks fairly frequently throughout the day, and it's helped them out a lot with these 2 particular children. So I'm really glad to hear that, and this has been fantastic. And like Kaya said, folks, bring your questions on. We're going to open it up to Q&A, but before we do, if you are looking here to contact us at all and get in touch with support, so there's a couple ways you guys can go about this, and Kaya, maybe feel free to jump in and take over here. But you can either go into our help center if you're looking for any support into your HiMama account, if you're a user with us, and if you're looking to potentially do any upgrades, contact support or your customer support manager. And if you're not sure, just give us a call in or send us an email. We'll get you in touch with the right person. But we're here to help you out. And of course, any feedback, as Derek and Janielle have said through this entire presentation, that it's really important for us to get this feedback. This is why we do the upgrades to the features we do. When you guys are saying, hey, we need some help with this, we have this idea, any of those sorts of pieces, they're really helpful for us to get a better idea of how you use the app. And if you ever do see potentially a survey or a request to have a chat with Derek, for example, and to give some valid input, just now you kind of have the faces and names behind some of the people who are working here and what we're looking for. So I think it's pretty important to know this, which is why we wanted to be able to have this webinar here for you guys today. So here we go. Sorry, there we go. I'd mentioned, I didn't want to switch here. If you ever do want to get started with us, Kaya will pop in some links for us, but we have a whole crew here dedicated to make sure that you're getting the right fit, you're getting the right features within the program. So get a quote with us, get on the phone and have a conversation with us. We love to make sure that you're set up with the right people, and I can attest to everyone who's on that side of we say on that side of the floor, but who are over there and working with our sales team specifically, but they are fantastic to make sure that we want you part of the HiMama family, and we want to make sure that you're in the right place, and we'll make sure to get you started in the best foot forward. So let's move on to Q&A. And maybe here we'll start with Janielle. And I actually I wanted to know, as you guys have worked over the last almost 2 years or so, what has maybe been your best or favorite feature, whether it be one that you made an addition to, or they did some upgrades to, or that you've seen roll out over the last 2 years or so?
That's really hard. Really, really hard. I'm going to have to say my favorite feature is actually Safe Pickup. And because there was quite a lot of, options of things we could go for as with, a lot of centers saying, well, just give me this, or maybe just give me that. Some people wanted, an actual checkout, and we had to do a lot of interviews and come to the conclusion that, especially with COVID being so strict and with centers having a lot of limitations, it was really important to keep the full checkout control in the hands of the center. I mean, that was above all one of the most important things. And if you're in, Ontario, we take Amber Alerts, incredibly serious. And so that was a really big factor in how we determined how the feature should function. So you get everything you need, but we only release the child when we're sure we released the child. So that was probably my favorite. And the feedback we're getting, it just really it actually really excited me, and I just get so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, they love it. So I think that's probably my favorite.
I feel like for you and Derek and the whole team probably especially is that you guys don't really, I guess you get to see it go out, and potentially this customer support team gets to hear you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that sort of thing. So for you guys to actually get the feedback, I could see why you would be very excited. It's always a piece that maybe I feel like the whole product and eng team potentially goes a little bit behind the door in some teams, and I hope that that's not the case. And for us here at HiMama, we try to make sure to push you guys a little more front and center because you're doing so much work and behind the scenes work, that's for sure. Derek, what about you? Favorite feature or upgrade, addition, whether it be over the last 2 years?
Well, I'm really excited about the new photos and videos feed page. I've spent a lot of time working on that in 2020. But I would actually say scheduled messaging is probably one of my favorites as well, just because that really adds a lot of flexibility and was a really, great way to help save people time. We heard so many painful stories around center administrators having to wake up at 5 a.m. just to hit the send button. That's ridiculous. That should never happen. So I was super happy to be able to release something that genuinely had a big impact on people's routines. So for sure.
Awesome. Okay, we got a time for a couple of questions, and I have a couple of key ones I want to play with. So maybe actually, Derek, I'll start with you. Talking about the messaging, can you do this was one of the questions that was asked, can you do scheduled messages that are reoccurring? So I guess, for example, let's say set it at that 5 a.m. on a Tuesday every week. Is that possible within the app, or?
Yeah, great question. Not the first time we've heard this feedback. Currently, that's not possible. So if you wanted, you would have to reschedule it. But a fast way to do that is if you save a message as a template, you can actually just reuse that on a weekly basis. But currently, it's not possible to repeat a scheduled message.
Gotcha. Not a problem. The key here takeaway is make a template, folks. And then I wanted to as well ask here, this one for you, Janielle, about some of the invoicing. Laura's asked if the invoices will be able to be adjusted with days in attendance. Maybe need a little bit more clarity on that. But let's start for that.
I think I kind of know where she's going. Definitely not not the first time we've heard this feedback. We're always I think internally we talk about this as attendance-based billing, which is very popular for certain centers and works very well when it's set up. We're definitely exploring it. So, I mean, it's not something that we're doing right away. And unfortunately, it's not something that we offer currently. We right now, our billing system, it leans very heavily to schedules. So, but we do understand that there's the need for drop off and in attendance billing.
Got you. Maybe this may not be something that's on the near future, also towards the billing side here, Janielle, but I know we've talked about this and I've heard around it in meetings and things like that, but is there any far future look about potentially getting more bookkeeping features on, like expenses, for example?
Right. So our first foray into those kind of bookkeeping features were the two reports that we presented earlier of what we did in 2020, and definitely not off the table. So we're trying to find ways to first make billing easier for you. So our first kind of, I would say, initiative is to ensure that we can make it as easy as possible for you to bill your parents. And then we're going to expand and ensure that any other reporting you need from that is also improved. So that maybe that kind of gives you an idea of the way that we're piecing it together.
That's fair. And I also feel like the amount of homework that the entire team does before launching something, like I feel like the work that HiMama does, the team, they take all that information, and yes, it takes a little bit to get it out there, but when we launch something, it's usually got some great stars around it, and it's usually pretty fantastic because you guys do take the time to do your homework. That's a huge piece.
Oh yeah.
Derek, I want to drive this question to you. Maybe we've had a couple of questions a little bit more around the name to face. Maybe if you could just explain it in a little bit more detail about how it works in the app.
Yeah, so for those who are familiar with HiMama, once a child is checked into the system, there's a bunch of different entries that teachers can record into HiMama. So name to face is one of several. It's known by different names in certain regions and districts. So it's also known as like a roll call or a spot check. And really it's just a way to ensure that everyone who's supposed to be in the room or in the hallway or out on a field trip is still present. So it's a sort of physical real world process whereby you check the list of children that are supposed to be there and you look at their face on the app and then look at the faces in front of you and make sure that everyone's present. And in some cases that's done really frequently throughout the day. Oftentimes it's done every time there's some sort of room transition or the children are being moved from, say, the playground to a classroom.
We just had a comment come through on the chat. Tara uses it. She says it's great for fire drill attendance. That's a huge one as well. Folks, we've had some great questions. I'm super, super happy with the webinar today. It's been fantastic to be able to have Janielle and Derek. So I usually say from everyone at HiMama, thank you. So thank you for both of you for being here today, being on this webinar, enlightening the crew here on some of the amazing features we let out. I know there's so much more to come for 2021. I'm excited. I know Janielle and Derek are excited. We're going to have you guys back in the future. Please watch for Janielle and Derek to rejoin us and have another webinar with us. And thank you for taking the time to be here today, to be with everybody. I'm so happy that you both could join us.
Thanks for putting this on, Ria. We appreciate it.
Is there any last words you want to leave us with? Advice, happy thoughts even, actually?
Oh, happy thoughts. I love it. Your pen, no joking. Happy thoughts. We're constantly working. So, and everything that we're doing is definitely to make, your experience better. So don't lose hope. I know that there are people who have been waiting for some features that we said we've been working on, and we really do mean it. We're working on it. There's a lot of sneak peeks coming up. So stay close to your emails, please. Your emails, we definitely do our best to get information out to you as fast as possible. And the little banner at the top of the app, especially for directors, at the very top of the app, you'll see a banner pop up here and there that announces new features. So we're trying to get them out there as fast as possible. And we always want to hear your feedback.
Derek, anything from you?
Yeah, just echoing what Janielle said, if you ever see an email from us, requesting your participation in some interviews or research, please get back to us. We talk to people, customers all the time, and the feedback's really invaluable. It also gives you a sneak peek on some of the things that we're working on. So really encourage you to engage.
That's a great little tip right there, Derek. I love it. Okay, folks, thank you again for joining us, Janielle and Derek. It was fabulous to have us. Let's go on to some of the homework here for today. So the certificate is actually, I'm sorry, I didn't do my homework and change this slide. This is my mix up. It's in the chat, folks. We are going to be doing a little bit of a change up with the certificate. So please, Kaya has just posted the link for you guys there. So please just click on it. It will take you right there. Download as a PDF. You'll be good to go. If you do not get it today, it will come out tomorrow. It will not be coming out this afternoon. I know we've had it in the past where it does come out since being on Webinar Jam, but it will not be coming out until tomorrow. So I will make sure to update and do my homework. Tata on me. It's in the chat. Please grab it there. If not, look for the email once again tomorrow with the show notes and the recording. And then next up as well, if you have not signed up for our Facebook page, please go right ahead and get into the sign up. Okay, this way you can go ahead and get into that link. It will be sent out here on Monday. Next week, folks, we're having Danny back. If you haven't seen her, she was on with us many moons ago. She's going to be talking a little bit more about growing your childcare business in a pandemic. Danny has a very exciting entrepreneurial sort of personality. She's a go-getter. I love it. I'm super excited to have her on. So if you have that side, no matter who you are, whether you're a parent and you're maybe thinking about starting your own, if you're a teacher who's working with your director or your director or owner who want to grow your business, this is not don't miss this webinar, folks. This is going to be a really fantastic one to go about it. Connect with us. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, check out our podcasts, listen to us on Spotify. I don't know, Kaya, maybe did I miss anybody or anything at the end of the day here?
No, you did great. All the links are in the chat. So I know we've had a lot of information thrown at you today, but if you need absolutely any help, there's lots of different resources in the chat. We'll keep that live for a little bit longer. You can get your certificate. It's the Google one I just put up there. We are launching a Facebook community, which is going to be an amazing hub. We're launching it on Monday. And if you want to be part of our family, we put the link in the chat for you as well. So if you're curious on how to get started, what HiMama looks like, or if you even need a little bit of extra support from your customer service rep, just shoot us an email and we will get connected with you.
Thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. And thank you again to Janielle and Derek. It was absolutely such a pleasure to have you both on and to hear a little bit more about some of these features. Some of them I'm just hearing about, guys. So I'm excited to have had this. As always, from everyone at HiMama, stay healthy, stay happy, stay safe, and we'll see you next Thursday. Take care, everyone.